So
Mm-hmm.
let me just pull up my notes. Okay, so it says here that we are at page 69.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and our last head word was collaborate. New word type
Collaborate.
of lesson. Okay, and do you
Mm-hmm.
do reading?
No, yes, I want to read, but the last lesson I don't have enough time to
Read. Oh,
read.
okay.
Read.
So I have the notes for reading also. Okay, so, but first let's start with our revision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just scroll down. Okay, here we go. First question. Is the healthcare industry, is the time frame for product development generally long or short? In the healthcare industry, is the time frame for product development generally long or short? In the healthcare
In
industry,
the healthcare
the
industry,
time
the time,
the time frame for
the time
product
frame
development
for the product
is
development
generally long.
is generally long
Wait, why is this? Why is this? Because
because the
the research
the research
of medicals and
of
drugs
medical and
drugs takes time
drugs takes time
and needs to be tested
and
needs to be tested very
need to be
carefully.
tested very carefully.
Very good. If you accidentally left your briefcase or laptop on a train, would you expect it to get it back? If you accidentally left your briefcase or laptop on a train, would you expect to get it back? Yes or no?
Yes.
If I accidentally
If I
left my
accidentally
briefcase
left my
or laptop
briefcase
on a
or
train,
laptop
I
in a
would
train,
expect
I would
to get it
expect
back.
to get it back.
Very good. Tell me a common word we can use instead of revenue or income when talking about business. Tell me a common word we can use instead of revenue or income when talking about a business. A
Mhm.
common word we
A
can
common word
use
we can use
instead of revenue
instead of
or
revenue
income when talking
or
about
income
a business
when talking about
is a
sorry
turnover.
when talking about
A business
when, when talking about a business
is a
is
turnover.
turnover.
Very good. If there's an upturn or output in a car plant, is it logical that turnover will increase or as a result? If there's an upturn in output in a car plant, is it logical that turnover will increase as a result? No. If there's
No,
an upturn
is there
in
an
output
upturn
in a car
in
plant,
output in a car plant?
it isn't logical that
It isn't
turnover
logical
will
that
increase
turnover
as a
will
result.
increase.
As a
So
result.
there, as a result,
Well, it, it isn't logical
it isn't
that
logical
turnover
that
will
turnover
increase
will
as a
increase
result.
as a result
Why not? Why not? Because there may not
because
be,
there not be
there may not be
there may not be
any demand from
many demand
consumers
from
for
consumers
the extra
or
cars
the extra
that are
cars
produced.
that are produced.
Again, what kind of things can cause a company to have a high staff turnover? What kind of things can cause a company to have a high staff turnover? Low wages, po- low
Low
wages,
low wages
poor working conditions,
or working condition,
bad management,
bad
etc.
management,
can
etc.
cause a
can
company
cause a
to have
company
a high
to
staff
have a high
turnover.
staff turnover.
Very good. What happens if a company operates at a loss for a long time, accumulates large debts, and can't find any investors to help? What happens if a company operates at a loss for a long time, accumulate large debts, and can't find any investors to help? If a company
If a
operates
company
a
operates
loss
a lost
for a long time,
for a long time,
accumulates large debts,
sorry, too large
accumulates
to accumulate
large debts,
large debt
and can't find
and can't find
any investors
any
to help,
investor to
it
help,
has to go
has to
into
go
liquidation.
into liquidation.
And what happens when a company's assets are liquidated? And what happens when a company's assets are liquidated? When a company's
When the
assets
company's
are
assets
liquidated,
are
they're
liquidated,
sold in
they are
order
sold
to pay
in
off
order to pay
its
off
debt to
its
creditors.
debt to creditors.
Right? In the past, were business debtors in your country sent to prison? In the past, were business debtors in your country sent to prison? Yes or no?
Yes.
In the past,
In the past,
business debtors
business debtor
in my country were
in my
sent to
country,
prison.
4 cent
Were
percent
were sent to prison.
were sent to present.
Very good. Okay, why is the ability to make small talk important for successful networking? Why is
Mhm.
the ability to make small talk important for successful networking? The ability to make
The ability to
small
make
talk
small talk
for successful networking
for successful
is
networking
important
is
because
important
small
because
talk helps
small
people
talk helps
feel more
people
relaxed,
feel more relaxed,
discover what interest
discover
they
what
have in
interest
common.
they have in common.
Very good. Has the internet changed the way in which most traditional mail order companies do businesses? Has the internet changed the way in which most traditional mail order companies do business? Yes, the
Yes,
internet
the
changed
internet
the way
changed
in
the
which
way
most
in which
traditional
most
mail order
traditional
companies
mail order
do
companies
business.
do business.
How did they change it? Companies can now
Uh, and now,
companies can now
companies,
make
a company
transactions
make transactions
faster, manage business
faster, manage
easily,
business easily,
etc.
etc.
Very good. Of all the people you know personally, who do you reckon would suffer the most financially if the stock market suddenly collapsed? Of all the people you know personally, who do you reckon would suffer the most financially if the stock market suddenly collapsed? Of
Mm.
all the people I know
Of all the
personally,
people I know
I
personally,
reckon
I reckon the investors
would suffer the most
would suffer the most
financially if the stock
financially
market
if the stock
suddenly
market
collapsed.
suddenly collapse
Why? Why do you think so? Because
because the investors
invested or used
use a lot of money to the market, so the decline of the stock prices is significantly important for them.
that's correct. One fall, big mistake for them. Very good. Okay, next. Under what circumstances might an investor put money into a venture, even when they know there's only a small prospect of the venture succeeding? Under what
Mhm.
circumstances might an investor put money into a venture, even when they know there's only a small prospect of the venture succeeding? An investor
An
might put
investor
money
might put
into a
money
venture,
into a
even when
venture
they
even
know
when they
there's
know
only a
there's
small
only
prospect
a small
of the
prospect
venture
of the
succeeding
venture
because
succeeding
they believe
because
the
they believe
investment
the
will be
investment
very
will
lucrative
be very
in the
lucrative
venture succeeded.
if the venture succeeded.
Where what's a joint venture? What's a joint venture? A joint venture
Joint
is
venture
a business project
is a business
that two
project
separate
that two
companies
separate
begin
companies
and
begin
collaborate on
and
together.
collaborate on together.
Where if you could do one thing to improve your career prospect, what would you do? If you could do one thing to improve your career prospect, what would you do? If I could do
If I
one
could
thing
do
to
one
improve
thing
my
to
career
improve
prospect,
my career prospect,
I'd
I'd I'd
like
I'd
learn new
uh,
skills.
yeah
I'd learn
I'd learn
new
English
skill.
skill here.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the end of our revision. Collaborate. Very
Mhm.
good. Okay, so let's start new work. Very good. Very fast. Okay, repeat. Respond.
Respond.
Response.
Response.
Invitation.
Invitation.
Very good. Okay, listen. Respond is a verb. It means to say or write something as an answer to a question or request. It also means reply, respond. For
Mhm.
example, the teacher asked a question, but the student didn't respond. Response is a noun. It means something that is said or written as a reply to something. So respond is a verb. Response is a noun. For example, I sent a letter to my mother and I haven't got a response yet.
Mhm.
Invitation is a noun. It is a written or spoken request for someone to go somewhere or to do something. RSVP is an abbreviation. The abbreviation
Mm.
RSVP stands for Responde s'il vous plaît, which means
Mm.
please respond in French. Okay, it is sometimes printed at the bottom of a formal invitation in order to request a response.
Mhm.
Okay, let's practice. Which abbreviation is sometimes printed at the bottom of a formal invitation in order to request a response? Which abbreviation is sometimes printed at the bottom of a formal invitation in order to request a response? The
Mm.
abbreviation
The abbreviation
RSVP.
R R S
RSVP
RSVP
is sometimes
is
printed
sometimes
at the
when
bottom
printed at the
of
bottom
formal invitations
of formal
in
invitation
order to request
in order to
a
request
response.
a response.
Very good. What do the letters RSVP stand for? What do the letters RSVP stand for? The letters
The letters
RSVP stand
RSVP
for
stand for
Responde s'il vous plaît,
responde syllable play,
which means please
which
respond
means please
in
response
French.
in French. Uh,
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Cost effective.
Cost effective,
Mail shot.
mail shot,
Budget.
budget.
Very good. Okay, listen. Cost effective is an adjective. It means producing good results without costing a lot of money. For example, the procedure is quick, easy to use, and cost effective. Mailshot is a noun. It means advertisements or information that a company sends to many people at one time by post. For example, we're sending out a mail shot telling our customers about the new products. Budget is a noun. It is an amount of money available for spending that is based on a plan for how it will be spent. For example,
Mm.
if I were the owner of a restaurant, I choose to increase my marketing budget when turnover was down.
Mm.
Let's practice. Which form of marketing would you say was probably the most cost effective for a business such as a restaurant? Placing advertisement in the local press, handing out leaflets on the street, sending mail shots, or advertising on local radio? Which form of
Mm.
marketing would you say was probably the most cost effective for a business such as a restaurant? Placing advertisement in the local press, handing out leaflets on the street, sending mail shots, or advertising on local radio? For a
Mm.
business
For
such
business,
as a restaurant,
such as a
I'd say
restaurant,
the
I
most
say
cost
the
effective
most cost-effective
form of marketing form
of
of
all
marketing
form of marketing
was probably
was probably
what?
the
Handing out
the
leaflets, sending mail shots, advertising on local radio, placing
advertising the local radio
local radio. Why? Why do you
mm,
think so? Because
because I guess it is the most cheapest way
mhm,
to make an advertisement in the local radio.
that's correct, and you will get local people to go to your
Mhm.
restaurant. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you were the owner of a restaurant, when would you choose to increase your marketing budget? When turnover was up or when turnover was down? And if you were the owner of a restaurant, when would you choose to increase your marketing budget? When turnover was up or when turnover was down? If I were
Mm.
the owner
If I were
of
the
a
owner
restaurant,
of a
I
restaurant,
choose to
I
increase
choose
my
to
marketing
increase
budget
my marketing
when
budget
turnover
when
was
turnover was
up or down.
up.
Up. Very good. Okay, next repeat. Presentation.
Sorry,
One more.
presentation,
Very good. Presentation. Next.
presentation,
Proposal.
proposal,
Pitch.
pitch,
Potential.
potential,
Topic.
topic,
Software.
software,
Flip chart.
flip chart,
Handout.
handout,
Handout.
handout,
Sum up.
sum up.
Very good. Okay, listen. Presentation is a noun. It means an
Mhm.
activity in which someone shows, describes, or explains something, like a new product or idea to a group of people. Presentation. For example, the charts and graphs help me understand the presentation. Proposal is a noun. It means something such as a plan or a suggestion that is presented to a person or group of people to consider. For example, the committee is reviewing the proposal for the new restaurant. Pitch. The word pitch is a verb. It means to deliver a speech to someone in order to persuade them to do something, usually buying something. For example, some common reason for giving a presentation at work are to present a proposal or report to colleagues or to pitch to an existing or potential client.
Mhm.
For example, that potential, the word potential is an adjective. It means likely to develop into a particular type of person or thing in the future.
Mhm.
For example, the company has come up new ways of attracting potential customers.
Mhm.
Topic is a noun. It means someone or something that people talk or write about, like a subject. For example, we should think carefully about our audience when preparing a presentation because it can help us decide which aspect of the topic we should focus on during the presentation.
Mhm.
Software is a noun. It is a program that runs on a computer and performs certain function. For example, to help us during a presentation, we can use equipment such as a laptop with presentation software and a projector. Flip chart is a noun. It is a set of large pieces of paper that are connected on the top so that you can just
Mhm.
turn the page over to present information to people. For
Mhm.
example, a simple presentation can be done simply by using a whiteboard or a flip
Mhm.
chart. Handout is a noun. It is a document that is given to people. For example,
Mhm.
we might also give our audience handouts so that they leave with a written record of the most important information. Okay, last one is sum up. Sum up
Mhm.
is a verb. It means to give a summary of the statements or facts or to summarize. For example, after summing up the most important points at the end of a presentation, people usually make suggestions for what should happen next. Thank the audience for listening. Ask the audience if they have any questions, etc. Okay,
Mhm.
let's practice. What are some common reasons for giving a presentation at work? What are some common reasons for giving presentations at work? Some common reasons
Some uncommon
for
reasons
giving a
for
presentation
giving a
at work
presentation at
are
work
to
are
present a
to
proposal
present a
or
proposal
report to
or
colleagues
report to
or to
colleagues,
pitch to an
to pitch
existing
to an
or
existence
potential client.
or potential client.
Right? Why should we think carefully about our audience when preparing a presentation? Why should we think carefully about our audience when preparing a presentation? We should
Mm.
think
We
carefully
should think
about
carefully
our
about
audience
our
when
audience
preparing a
in
presentation
preparing the
because
presentation
it can help
because
us
it
decide
can help us
which
decide
aspect of
which
the topic
aspects
we
of
should
the topic
focus
we
on
should focus
during the
on
presentation.
during the presentation.
Very good. Okay. To help us during a presentation, what kind of equipment can we use? To help us during a
Mm.
presentation, what kind of equipment can we use? To help us
To
during
help
a
us
presentation,
during a
we can
presentation,
use
we
equipment
can use the
such as
equipment
a laptop
such as a
with
laptop,
presentation software,
quick,
with presentation software,
quick, quick presentation software,
and a projector,
and
or
projector,
simply a whiteboard
or simply a
or
whiteboard
flip chart.
or flip chart.
Greg, tell me one reason why we might also give our audience handouts. Tell me one reason why we might also give our audience handouts. We might also
We
give
might
our
also give
audience
our
handouts
audience
so that
handout
they leave
so that they leave
with a written record
with a written
of
record
the most important
of the most
information.
important information.
What do people usually do at the end of a presentation after
Mm.
summing up the most important points? What do people usually do at the end of a presentation after summing up the most important points? After summing up
After
the
summing
most
up
important
the
points
most important
at the
point
end of a
at the end
presentation,
of the
people
presentation,
usually make
People usually
suggestions
make
for what
suggestions
should happen
for what should
next.
happen
Thank
next.
the audience
Thank the
for
audience
listening.
for
Ask the
listening.
audience
At the
if they have
audience,
any
if they
questions,
have any questions,
etc.
etc.
Where we get okay. Next, repeat. Lost leaders
Lost leader
accomplish
accomplish
transaction.
transaction.
Where we get okay. Listen. A loss leader is a product that a shop sells at a very low price in order to attract customers, in the hope that they'll buy more profitable goods during their visit.
Mhm.
Accomplish is a verb. It means to complete something successfully. Transaction is a noun. It is an agreement to exchange goods or services in return for money. Let's practice. Why do supermarkets and other retail business sometimes introduce loss leaders? Why do supermarkets and other retail business sometimes introduce loss leaders? Supermarkets and other
Supermarkets
retail
and
business
other retail business
sometimes introduce
sometimes
loss leader
introduce
to
lost
attract
leader
customers
to attract
to the shop
customers
in the
to
hope
the shop
that
in the
they'll
hope
buy
that
other
they'll
more
buy other
profitable
own
goods
profitable
during
goods
their visit.
during their business.
Do you believe lost leaders accomplish that goal? Do you believe lost
They
leaders accomplish that goal? Yes or no?
yes,
Yes, I believe
I
lost
believe
leaders
lost leaders
accomplish that goal.
accomplish that goal.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Hmm. Okay.
Very good. Okay, so our last page on reading is page 16. Last headword was annual. Okay, start with headword commute.
Commute. Sorry.
Page
Do you
16.
have any?
Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't have the page on this book, so do you have any difference number? The
Different number. No
is it
pages.
no
16.
page? Yeah, 16.
You
16
don't have
is
page at the
the
bottom?
yes at the bottom. There's no page on this book,
Oh,
so
yeah. Let me check. How can
sorry.
we? There's no other numbers that like, but it's
Yeah,
like the
this is
16
very strange, but 16.
commute. 16. So maybe you can count the page. One, two. No, commute.
No, commute. どこだ
Commute.
But I feel this is very strange
Yeah.
because this book doesn't have the
Any
page
pages? Yeah,
at the bottom. Yeah.
that's correct. So that very difficult for you to locate the word, but
Uh,
it
so
will
again,
it will
どこら
take you
辺だ
some
ろ
time to look for that. But maybe you can look for the word commute and page 16 after the lesson. Let's just continue
commute,
here. You found it?
commute. I found the commute
Okay,
word.
that's it. Commute. So that's page 16.
Commute
Uh-huh.
16. Oh, 16. Okay. The
Okay, you
what
just
the
mark it.
what the maximum amount? Is it correct? What's the
That's correct. That's
maximum
correct.
amount of time you'd be willing to spend commuting each day? The maximum amount of time I'd be willing to spend commute each day is about 30 minutes. And next
ER.
is PR, public relations. If you are famous
Celebrity.
celebrity, would you employ your own PR manager? No.